Good morning, everyone. Namaskar. I am Ravi Gupta. I am CEO of Elias Technomedia Private Limited, and I'm editor-in-chief of a magazine called eGov, which is India's and Asia's first and the only magazine on e-governance. We also publish a magazine called eHealth for the last 16 years, and we have another magazine called Digital Learning and Banking and Finance Post. And we are right now in this lockdown situation, we are interacting with the various departments across the country, that how are they handling the COVID-19 uh, crisis, how it is impacting their department, and how are they providing services in these difficult times. So today we have the pleasure of having Naina Gunde. She is an IAS officer. She is the chairman and managing director of Pune Mahanagar Parivahan Mahamandal Limited, which is called PML. So welcome Naina ji on this interaction live on the Facebook. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta, and good morning to everybody.
Yeah. So, Naina ji, before we start our discussion regarding the corona situation, I will request you to please talk about your career in this administrative services and public services, where you started, which all departments you have worked in, so that our audience will get an idea about your experience and background. Yeah.
I have put in around 27 years of service in administration. I started off as a deputy collector, recruited through Maharashtra Public Service Commission in 1992. So I joined as deputy collector. In 2007, I was promoted as additional collector, and in 2015, I was promoted into the IAS. And I have worked in various districts of Maharashtra, like Usmanabad, Sangli, Nasik, Solapur. I've worked in Wardha. I've worked in Nagpur. So I have practically worked all over Maharashtra, and I have worked on various posts. Like as a deputy collector, you work in various different departments. Then I have also worked in MHADA, which is the housing department of Maharashtra government. I have worked in the stamps and registration department at Nasik. Then I was additional municipal commissioner in Nagpur. I was CEO of Zilla Parishad Wardha. And after that, I have been posted here as PMPML CMD. And now I have been transferred as Deputy Director General of Yashada, which is our training academy. But I'm holding additional charge of PMPML.
Okay, fantastic. So may I request you to talk about how has the COVID-19 situation affected the working of your organization, and how are you dealing with this crisis?
Okay. So this crisis came upon us suddenly. Like all the plans and the projections that we had done for PMPML as an organization, they have received a huge setback. We did not imagine that such a situation would come, that we would have to curtail our services. But because we were like Pune and we are catering to Pune and Pimpri-Chinchwad corporations, as well as the PMRDA area, as well as 5 municipal councils in and around Pune. So we are catering to a population which is around 70 lakh people. And we had ambitious plans to increase the fleet, the number of buses in our operations, and we were planning to increase the number of routes and to cater to more people. But then because of the COVID, we had to gradually curtail the number of buses on road. We were catering to around 11.5 lakh passengers daily. And the COVID has really affected our services very badly. Before this, till February, we were operating around 1600 to 1650 buses daily. but that because of the COVID, that number has come down drastically to around 110 to 120 buses daily, which is around just 7 to 8% of our total operation. So the number of buses has gone down. So proportionately, the number of passengers and the income that we generated, that has
Yes.
also gone down. See, our
Yes.
income, which was daily to the tune of 1.55 crores daily.
Hmm.
And we were trying to increase our income through various measures, providing services to various sectors. And in fact, on one day, we had got an income of 1.89 crore also, which was a high point for us. And we were really looking forward to take it beyond 2 crores. But then because of the COVID, the number of buses have gone down, the number of passengers has gone down. So our income is barely 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs daily now. And accordingly, the number of passengers has gone down. As I said before, we were catering to around 11.5 lakh people we were transporting daily. Actually, this is the population of certain small districts.
Yes.
So that is
Yes.
the number of people we were daily transporting. So this has drastically come down to around 10,000 to 15,000 people daily.
And as you mentioned that very limited services are operational now. So
Yes.
please explain about like what are the services operational and for whom?
Okay. See, the PMPML itself is an essential service provider. It's an emergency service provider, and because of the COVID now, only those departments are working which are providing essential services. Only those sectors are working which are providing
Hmm.
emergency services. So we
Hmm.
are practically providing services to those people. We are giving services to the major hospitals. Like in Pune, we have the Sasun Hospital. In Pimpri-Chinchwad, we have the YMC Hospital. In Pune, we have the Naidu Hospital. So we are providing buses to these areas. We are providing buses to all the essential service providers like the police personnel, like the nurses, the doctors, the ward boys, the banking personnel, then the people who provide us our daily needs. And we are providing services to all these people. And whenever the hospitals need it, or whenever PCN, the corporations need, they have specific requirement. For example, in Pune, the Pune Municipal Corporation, they had to transfer around 900 homeless people to the shelters that they had built. So this was a huge operation with coordination between corporation, the police department, and PMPM. So that day we provided around 20 buses. So in these 20 buses, around 900 people were shifted in shifts to the shelters. So we are providing these kind of services, and now also now the trains will start to transport the migrant laborers to various parts of the country. So that time also it will be our buses which will transport the migrant laborers from the shelters to the railway stations. So we are providing these kind of services. Then we have also a specialized service called the Pushpak service. We have around 5 buses, 4 for corporation area and four for Pune corporation area, one for Pimpri-Chinchwad corporation area, where we are also transporting the uh, dead bodies to the crematoriums.
So how is the your organization's control room? The Pune your buses have a control room for monitoring and tracking the buses or planning the bus routes. How are these being used in any way for assistance to the municipal corporation for helping in dealing with the disaster?
Yes. We have a control room in our central office, which tracks all the buses that are on route. But for this specific emergency, for this coronavirus period, we have also started our wireless section as well as central office. So we are maintaining staff in all these 3 places. We have shared the phone numbers of these places to all the departments and to the public in general, so that if there is any need for any specific bus service, so we provide that. And we have even posted people throughout the, for 24 hours they will be there. Like suppose there's a emergency need for a bus by any department, say the police department or the corporations or the hospitals. So 24 hours our staff is available to provide service to them.
Now, your organization has suffered a huge revenue loss in this situation.
Yes.
How you foresee that as an organization you are running and you have salaries of staff and your all other expenses of running so many buses? So how you will plan to handle this financial crisis, and how will you increase the revenue in the future?
The coronavirus has drastically affected not only PMPML, but it has affected the transport industry to a huge extent, to a large extent. So now everybody has to think of how we can generate revenue, because we are a huge organization. We have around 10,000 employees, and for whom the salaries have to be paid. And we have major expenses like fuel expenses there, then establishment charges are there, and so many other have to pay. So we had multiple meetings with our HODs and with our depot managers, thinking of ways and means to increase our revenue as well as to decrease our costs.
Yes.
So for increasing revenue, we thought that we cannot just depend on transporting people from one place to another. We have to do some out of the box thinking. We have to find out ways and means, new ways and means, which we had earlier maybe not thought about. But now, because of this crisis, we have to find out ways and means to increase our revenue through different measures. So we have communicated to various industries. So Pune and Pimpri-Chinchwad area is a very industrial area. So we have communicated to the industries that we are ready to offer contractual services to your people. So like there is an industrial area in Chakan, there is industrial area in Bhosri, in Ranjangaon, in Kharadi, and so many places. So we are in communication with them. We are ready to offer contractual services for their employees also, because their employees may be living in far off areas. So we can transport them. So then we are also thinking of offering contractual services to schools, to colleges, to universities, because these are going to open, say, about after 1 or 2 months. So we will be providing contractual services to them. We are also thinking we will provide contractual services to any government departments, specific departments. Like there are big departments like say ZP, Collector Office, PMC, PCMC. So maybe we will operate specialized services for them. And also we are thinking maybe we'll start offering courier service also to the IT companies, or we could also help the postal department. So there are like gradually as the relaxation, as the lockdown is relaxed, so many services will start. So we will respond to the demand.
Sure. And with the COVID-19 crisis, there is a major new awareness about social distancing, having masks, having more hygiene and cleanliness, sanitization, all those things. So, and you are a public bus. So how do you see that after the crisis is over, new protocols of using the bus for the citizens will have to be implemented? So your thoughts on this?
Yeah, definitely we have to make changes in our operations. Like before COVID, as I told you, we were operating 1600 to 1650 buses. And as per the global norms, you should have 50 buses for 1 lakh population. We are catering to 70 lakh people. So as per that, we should have 3,500 buses on road. But we had lesser buses. So our buses were always overloaded, especially in the peak period. So sometimes there would be 90 to 100 people at one time during the peak hours. But all this has to change with COVID. So as per this thing, we have to have maintain social distancing even in the buses. So for the buses that we are operating now, we have given specific instructions to our drivers and conductors that no more than 20 people will sit in a 12-meter bus, no more than 14 people will sit in a 9-meter bus. So social distancing has to be maintained there also. So there will be only one person on one seat, and there will also be one person will sit on the left, the next person will sit on the extreme right. So there is proper social distancing. Then our drivers and conductors have to use masks compulsory. They have to ensure that the people who are entering the bus also are using the masks. We have provided sanitizers to them. We are sanitizing the buses 2-3 times a day. Then even when we are providing essential services, we gave specific instructions to the drivers, conductors to check the iCards of the people. Only then they are supposed to enter. Only people who are providing emergency services will use the buses. People will not just come and use the bus for any other reason. Only for this. So we are taking all care to see that. And regarding the earlier question, we are also trying to decrease our losses to cut down our costs also. So what we are doing, we had 13. We were operating from 13 depots. So operating one depot has its own standing costs, so fixed costs. So we have shut down now 7 of our depots. Now we are operating only from 6 depots. So we plan to cut costs there also. Then we have stopped all new purchases for the stores department. No more purchases. Whatever inventory we have, we are going to function in that because we are operating only 110 to 120 buses now. And so we are also going to reschedule our routes. So although we will be operating only on the main routes, we'll try to increase our
efficiency, right? Efficiency of the
try to be more efficient.
Just asking you a pre-COVID question that how has been your organization using IT in your work?
Okay. We have been using IT since long. We have ITMS system in our buses. We have established a command and control center in our central office from where you can track all the buses, whether the bus is overspeeding, whether there is harsh braking, and whether there is a breakdown. So all this is tracked from the ITMS center. You can also talk to the driver, give him a message, and we also have this. We have the AFCS system also, automated fare collection system, where the conductors have the e-ticketing system. They have the e-ticketing machine. So the tickets are no longer paper tickets. They are given through the e-ticketing machine. So we get the real-time data of how much income we have got at a particular time of the day. So we are trying, even in the stores department, we are trying to do everything centrally and use IT to make even the purchasing system very efficient.
And there is a question around that someone has written on this to my messaged me that there is a issue about insurance that PMC and PCMC staff are getting insured, but the PML staff are perhaps not insured. So, any views on this topic?
Yes, both the corporations, they have declared that any person who is affected due to coronavirus, that may lead to his death. So the family will get 50 lakhs to 1 crore. That is what they have declared. And since we are dependent on both the corporations, on the BMC and the PCMC for our operational losses, like earlier we were department of both the corporations. Like PMT was Pune Municipal Transport and PCMT was Pune was Pimpri Chinchwad Municipal Transport. So we are actually the parent organization are these both corporations. So whatever policies are followed in these corporations, we tend to follow those policies also. So when when both the corporations declared the insurance scheme for their employees, we also thought that we should also take advantage of this. Our unions also came forward and they also asked for the same. So we have communicated to both the corporations saying that we are also a department, like we are also providing essential services. Our drivers and conductors, our employees also come in contact with the public who may or may not be affected. And because the nature of the disease is such that you don't know whether a person is affected. So our conductors, our drivers, they are also in direct contact with all the public. So they may be affected. In fact, we have 2-3 cases of where coronavirus affected. I mean, our employees being affected by the virus. So we have asked both the corporations that the scheme that you have for your employees, you um, provide that scheme to our employees also.
Okay.
And I am positive that this will be accepted.
And what are you what is your organization doing for the safety of your employees in this situation who are still working, like who are still operating the buses? So how are they maintaining precautions from the virus?
Yeah, considering the nature of the virus, from day one we have started taking precautions so that to ensure that our employees, our drivers, our conductors, our workers, our depot workers are not affected by the virus. So we started distribution of masks immediately. Every person who works in any PMPML depot in any office compulsory uses the masks.
Hmm.
And yeah, and secondly, we have started sanitization tunnels and sanitization cabins in every depot. And we are not only relying on that only, we have also given instructions that just because you have come through the sanitization tunnel or the cabin, you are not safe. You have to use masks. You have to sanitize. We have provided sanitizers to all our depots. We have provided sanitizers to the major terminals also. We have kept sanitizers in the major terminals also. And we have our sanitization teams which are working throughout the day and night. We ensure that our buses, every bus that goes on road has to be sanitized first. And after its operation is over, it will be sanitized again. And we especially see that the doorknobs, the handles, the bars, the backs of the seats, they are wiped clean. Not only sanitized, they are also wiped clean. We have kept our sanitization teams at the major terminals also, as the major stations also, like the Deccan, the Mahatma Gandhi station, or the PMC station. So we have our sanitization teams there also. So whenever a bus comes there, even if it waits for 10 minutes, our team goes and cleans the everything. So we are trying to ensure that everything is sanitized and everything is very hygienic, and that none of our employees get affected by the coronavirus.
So there are few questions on the screen. So I wanted to some of the issues you have read out already, and so some question is around that how are you maintaining social distancing in the buses that are running in the times of COVID-19?
Okay.
Isn't it difficult for transport authorities to manage migrant laborers and ensure safety of own employees?
Yeah, I think I have answered this.
Yes.
Even after lockdown is over, we will ensure that social distancing is maintained in the buses. We will see that not more than 20 people are there in a standard 12-meter bus. We will see that not more than 14 people are there in a 9-meter bus. And after the lockdown, I think we should start from now only. We will mark the seats on where the people will sit, so that the social distancing is maintained. Suppose on the first seat, a person has to sit on the right. So on the second seat, he will sit on the left. On the third seat, he will again sit on the right. And on the fourth seat, he will sit on the left. So this is the way social distancing can be maintained. Then we will ensure that every person who enters the bus has to have a mask. And we will provide sanitizers also in the buses.
Right. Yeah, there is a question that you had started dedicated services for women in the city. Post COVID-19, will it be a good idea to start dedicated buses for elderly people immediately in order to keep them safe from asymptotic cases?
Yeah, we had started specialized services for women. Basically because the number of women working outside the homes is large in Pune. So we thought, why not start specialized services for women, taking into consideration the huge number of women commuters. So on 8th March 2018, we started around 30 buses, especially for women. We called it the Tejaswini buses. And then these buses got an excellent response from the women commuters. And on 8th March 2019, which is International Women's Day, we made travel for women passengers free on the Tejaswini buses. So that also generated a huge response. In fact, one of the engineering college female students group, they decided that whenever they have their industrial trip, they will do it on 8th of every month, because 8th of every month is free travel for women. So not only just 8th March, but 8th of every month, we are providing free service to the women.
Okay.
So since this service has generated such good response from the women commuters, we will continue these services after COVID relaxation also, or after the lockdown is lifted. And the question pertaining to the question that we should start specific buses for the elderly also, because of the nature of the virus, which is asymptomatic. So this is a good suggestion, because we know that even after the lockdown restrictions are lifted, we may not be operating at full strength. So we will definitely think about providing special services for the elderly as per the demand.
Yes. And there is a question that just a second.
EMPML had plans to increase the number of buses before COVID-19.
Yes.
How badly such plans shall be affected?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I answered this question in the beginning only.
Yes.
That we had great ambitions of increasing our fleet, of providing services to larger areas, as to the entire PMRD area. At present, we are providing services to Pune Corporation area, Pimpri-Chinchwad Corporation area, 5 municipal councils around Pune, and the PMRD area, including 3 cantonment boards and more than 500 villages which are in the vicinity of Pune, included in the PMRD area. And as I said before, as per the global standards, you should have one bus for 50 buses for 1 lakh people. So we cater to 70 lakh people. So we had planned to procure around more than 3,000 buses. But then because of the COVID pandemic, all these plans have taken a big hit. Now we will not be procuring new buses, at least not in the near future. Maybe when things get back to normal, we will start our expansioning the fleet, or we will start off thinking of procuring new buses. But as of now, I feel that the number of buses that we already have in our fleet are enough to cater to the needs of the people.
There is a question that your organization has converted a bus into a sanitation tunnel. How effective has it been?
Okay. I must say our employees have done a great job, and especially the technical team, our chief engineer, Mr. Buse, Mr. Gaude, and our traffic manager, Mr. Bagmare. They have really done a great job to ensure the safety of the people, the safety of the employees. So when, in fact, I read in the newspaper about sanitation cabins being built at certain offices, there was in the police department, then they had it in the PMC, then also I saw one in the Nasik Municipal Corporation. So I put forward this idea to our technical team saying whether we can approach these people, the ones who have made it for them, or and get sanitation tunnels or cabins for our employees also. But then our people were very ingenious. They created the tunnels on their own. They went and saw how it was done. They said, "Ma'am, we also can do it ourselves." So it was a great thing. Every depot of ours, the 13 depots, every depot has a sanitation tunnel or a sanitation cabin, and they've done it at very minuscule minimum cost. I think one of the tunnels cost barely 1,800 rupees.
Okay.
And it was quite effective. And not only that, one of our scrap buses also was made into a tunnel. And then other depots also, one depot started it, other depots came up with better ideas. So one bus was like every person who would get into the bus would get sanitized.
Okay.
So that was really very creative of our team, and I'm really proud of them.
Wow, that's very interesting. I will.
And they did it at very minimal cost, and we used the scrap material which was available. They did not even buy anything from outside. So,
Wow.
they used
So
whatever material was available in our depots.
Yes.
So they used that.
Amazing. In fact, I will request you to share the video of those tunnels as pictures, so that we can put it up on our website or our eGov magazine portal and our social media, so that other transport departments also get inspired all over the country. Right? It's
definitely I will share it with you, because this is done at very minimum cost, which outside you'll have to pay lakhs, but people have done it in very minimal cost using the material that was available. And this got good coverage in the local newspapers also. And in fact, one person approached me that we should make a project report about that, so that the other transport undertakings all over India also can make use of this, because they also have the same scrap material available or other material required available in their depots. So they also can do it.
Yes. In fact, these are the innovations which happen in the time of crisis, and the team comes together to innovate. So it's
and the basic thinking behind this was like, in Marathi, we had coined this word, Maji Samstha, Maji Jawabdari. That is, this is my institution, it is my responsibility. So this was the phrase that we used to do this.
Amazing, amazing. My institution.
My institution is my responsibility.
My responsibility.
Maji Jawabdari.
Maji
Samstha to meri zimmedari.
Very zimmedari. Amazing. This is amazing. Great. And there is a question regarding how will the organization manage operating cost post lockdown, and what is the present status? Again, I think you have.
Yeah, I have answered this, because we are a huge organization. We have around 10,000 people. So we have huge establishment costs, we have huge fuel costs, and other fixed costs also. As per the formation of PMPML, as I told, they were previously departments of both the corporations. And as per the government GR, which says that whatever operation losses we have, which will be borne in the proportion 60-40 by both the corporations, percent by Pune and 40% by Pimpri-Chinchwad. And even in our procurement also, because as you know, most of the transportation undertakings, they are not at a profit, so they are loss-making entity. So if you want to procure any new buses, so you have to have funds. So So these funds also we get from both the corporations. So we look forward to both the corporations for bailing us out from the coronavirus pandemic losses that we are facing.
There is a question regarding that AC buses are not good in the times of COVID-19 as it may spread the virus.
Okay. Our AC buses not good in times of COVID-19 as it may spread the virus. Yeah, we have reports. I mean, we have read news saying that AC is a closed environment, right? AC bus is a closed environment. So there is a possibility of the virus being spread in an AC bus. So when the pandemic started, we were operating AC buses. So then also immediately, in fact, we gave instructions that the AC will be stopped and the windows will be open. So that is what we did immediately. So we stopped the AC and the ventilators were open. So we operated that way. But then now we don't need these number of buses. So we have stopped the AC buses operation also. So now not a single AC bus is operating.
So there is another question regarding the finances, and I think you have answered that already. So I think we are
okay.
And with that, you have mentioned about the financial issue.
Yes, that I've done. Any other question?
No, so I think the Q&A, all questions you have addressed. Let me look at the chat. There is a question in the chat that madam, arrangement in the bus is okay. Then what about the volume of the passengers, which was earlier in the bus used to carry with overcrowding with standing? So if you want to talk about it.
Initially, as I said, especially in the peak hours, our buses would ferry up to 90 to 100 passengers in the peak hours. But now this is not going to be possible after the lockdown is lifted. And I feel that the number of passengers also will not be so much immediately. Like what the commuters will feel that in a bus, social distancing may not be maintained. So he will prefer to go to his office by his own vehicle, right? So I feel that the number of passengers will not increase suddenly. They will increase very gradually. Like after the lockdown, or even during lockdown, some of the restrictions are being lifted gradually. All the restrictions are not being lifted immediately. There are restrictions. So I feel that even our passengers will not increase suddenly. Our passengers also will increase gradually. So as per the demand, as I said before, we will increase the number of buses also gradually. We will see where the demand is more, we will put in more buses. And as I said, now we have ample of buses, so we can cater to this to the demand of the passengers, and we will ensure that social distancing is maintained in the buses also. As I said before, we will not ferry more than 20 buses in a 12-meter bus and more than 14 passengers in a 9-meter bus. So we will ensure that social distancing is maintained. Because this is a pandemic, this will not go away immediately. The effects will be there for a long time, maybe 6 months also. Nobody can say.
Yes.
Nobody can say how long this will last. So we will have to ensure that all precautions are taken, all cares are taken. We will continue even after the restrictions are lifted or the lockdown is over. We will continue with our employees wearing masks. We will continue sanitizing. We will continue the sanitizing tunnels also. So we will ensure that all the precaution is taken.
So I think we have addressed all the questions, and we have discussed about the challenges, and we also have discussed about how will the post-COVID buses and the corporation, how will it address those norms of the social distancing. Yes. And the issues around the safety of the passengers, sanitization, hygiene. These issues we have discussed, and I think it's a great. This interaction gave us an idea about the not only the transport department in Pune, but maybe the other corporations across India are facing these similar challenges,
Yes.
and they will need all our help to what do you call it, recover from this COVID-19 shock. So yes, so and I will also like to thank your, in fact, all the corporation staff who are working in these crisis times. So hats off to them. And as you mentioned, uh, uh, that they have innovated about converting a bus into a sanitization tunnel, and even
Just sorry for the interruption. I would just like to also mention how our employees have gone beyond the call of their duty and work. Like there were so many cases where there were pregnant ladies and who were in dire stress and they did not find any transportation. And one lady was standing on the road waiting for her husband, and her husband could not reach because there was no transportation. So one of our drivers, the bus was going on that road, and one of our drivers saw the lady that she was in great pain. So he stopped the bus. He and the conductor, they helped the lady to the bus. Then they asked her which hospital she normally visits. So they dropped her to the hospital, which was not on their route. So there were 3-4 cases like this, which were widely reported and circulated in the newspapers.
amazing,
And this is really appreciable that our
amazing.
employees are going out of the way and doing their job. And this
Yes.
is the need of the hour in such a emergency
Yes,
situation.
yes, yes. In fact, as you mentioned, all these cases, like these are very important human stories, and they are the case studies of empathy
Yes,
by
yes.
the staff. And I will request you to actually send us all these clippings of
Okay.
these, and we will like to highlight them along with this video on our social media channels, so that these stories reach to wider network of people all around the country, so that all are aware that how the government employees, the transport department employees are actually going beyond the call of the duty to help the citizens. So it is very much necessary to highlight the positive news and the positive efforts of each and every individual in these crisis situation, so that there is like more positivity in the whole ecosystem, and people get inspired to
Yes.
help each other, right? So amazing. So I will really request you to send all these details to us with photographs and the videos, and we will
Okay, fine. I'll
love
send.
to highlight all this. This
Yes,
is
sure.
very important. And so I think we can close this discussion here, and I will request all the people who are watching this on the Zoom and also on the Facebook, that let's like please like and share this video, so that the great work being done by the Pune Transport Corporation, the whole organization, actually reaches to a lot more people, and more positivity spreads in the ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to put forward like what our employees are doing. So the
Yes.
other transport undertakings also can learn from this, and we also would like to learn from other transport undertakings as to
Yes.
how they are facing this pandemic, what new
Yes.
ideas they are putting forward, or how they are going to
Yes.
use the fleet in the near future.
Yes.
So thank
And
you very much.
exactly. And I also let me also inform all the audience who are watching us that we are going to do a transport panel virtually, and which will be on Zoom and also on the Facebook, and we are going to have 3-4 states case studies of how they have dealt with this crisis, and how are the employees in various state transport departments are working in these crisis situations, and how are they trying to help the citizens. So we will soon announce a date, and all the audience, like we are doing these webinars daily on our ILETS and eGov handles, like you can see it on our Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn accounts. So please follow it, and you will be gaining idea about like various departments across the country, how are they dealing with this COVID-19 situation. So बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद नैना जी,
Thank you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आने के लिए. नमस्कार.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.